All right, you beautiful humans, it looks like the price of Apple stock as of today is down. So that must mean that there's an event coming. And with that being said, I just want to make a quick announcement about that event, Unleashed. So for those of you who may follow Alex over at Alex Gear and Tech, or Patrick, who has apparently embraced the fact that he just loves to talk over at Patrick Rambles, we will be doing a pre-event live stream over at Alex's place at approximately 8:45 Pacific, give or take. And I'll link those details below once we have them because we're still coordinating our matching outfits. And I really don't want to keep you too long because I know that some of you have some rearranging of your desks to make some space for your new M1X, or you've got to quickly pivot and capitalize over there on those side hustles, mow a few lawns, rake some leaves, which, hey, there is no shame in that if you need a few extra bucks to make this purchase. But a couple of things to think about. And besides the fact that the rumors are pointing that we can expect a 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro and potentially a bundle of joy, which is the baby Mac Pro. And that, of course, is that this architecture has continued to be thoroughly tested in a desktop class operating system over the last year. And I think that with the introduction of macOS Monterey to the public, that this is really going to be bringing more polish than Big Sur ever did. And Apple's next iteration may in fact get the attention of a few holdout developers that are on the bench, that have been on the bench, and now that they're ready to get in the game. And as I've stated in previous videos about Apple's push for Metal, that they're going to have to fund some of these transitions, it does look like the most recently publicly announced push has gone into the development fund of the free 3D creation pipeline of Blender, which according to the sources, there will be additional resources for engineering that will be diverted to that development community. And as a $2 trillion company, depending on, of course, how the stock is doing today, Apple is putting the pedal to the metal on accelerating their position in a space where dedicated GPUs are a must. And I mean, there really is just so much to unpack there, and maybe we can just talk about it on the live stream a little bit. But this is really about the trajectory of not what Apple stated last year about what they've set out to do with the Mac, but this is about what you'll be able to do with the Mac as this continues to roll out, along with funding more projects that also allow you more opportunities to say yes to this ecosystem. And I just realized as I said that out loud that it sounds like I'm just sipping on the Kool-Aid. And it's still water. And look, I'm just as excited for all of you as much as I'm thankful for what the M1 has done for me this past year. And I really think that the biggest question I'll have for myself as far as the announcement is concerned is whether I'm really more aligned with the potential announcement of the Mac Mini, even though I do have one and I could definitely run some comparisons with the current M1 that I have, or am I going to invest in a MacBook Pro upgrade since my last one was in 2017, aside from the MacBook Air that I purchased last year? And then if it is going to be the MacBook Pro, I personally appreciate the smaller footprint of the 14-inch, or at least what I think it will be, especially when I'm on the move, because I've really been spoiled by the screen real estate on that ultra-wide monitor behind me. However, Mark Sequence and I were chatting on Twitter about his desire to get the 16-inch, and I know some of you already shared what you'll be getting, but if Apple decides to add something like ProMotion display, and I don't mean necessarily, well, it could be 120 hertz. Like, let's say that they did 120 hertz only for the 16, but not the 14. Although I really think that that is a big wish and something that's not going to happen on this iteration. But similar to the Liquid Retina in the 11-inch iPad Pro and the Liquid Retina XDR in the 12.9, then if there's a difference between the 14 and 16, would this push you over to that larger device? And of course, at a cost. And then what about if Apple limits the I/O options on the 14 versus the 16-inch, or if there are RAM limitations? Although talks of 64 gigs of RAM as a maxed out option, I am genuinely curious, but as far as this being an option for myself, I'm not sure that I'm going to go that route with that much RAM. However, if a 16-core GPU is the only option for the 14-inch, then would this also affect your decision? And maybe that's why many of you are already just considering the 16-inch, because the likelihood of any of those limitations would be slim. And if the Mac Mini is announced, what do you think about this one for yourself? Like whether you need that portability, or maybe you're just happy getting a desk setup, kind of like the one that I have behind me. And as much as I've seen the excitement around the MacBook Pro, I am wondering if the Mac Mini is going to be the sleeper here and surprise us all with how well it might sell. So I know that there are so many questions, and maybe I should just start live streaming now and head over to Alex's place on Monday morning. But I do really hope to see you over there, and don't let his quaint studio space fool you, because he has plenty of room for all of us to stretch out and, of course, talk some tech. So until then, you go do those things that matter, rock those faces, and I'll see you right back here on the next one. Well, actually, on the live stream. I hope to see you next on the live stream. So links will be below. Again, we've got to get our outfits together.